You need a screw it moment, especially if what you're chasing right now is not what you would proudly be chasing if your race ends here. It may not feel like a grandiose moment and you may have no idea how to take your life back right now, but this is when you start thinking deeply and working on it. This one is for my friends and fellow entrepreneurs out there wishing you were in a much better place by now and that you had made a lot more progress by now too. First of all, I want you to feel seen. You're just trying to not give up. You may be young and trying to figure it out, or grown and wondering where it all went wrong, or if this is all that there is. You've been beaten down, berated, and bullied. You're struggling, depressed, and very anxious, waiting for your situation to change and just taking it one day at a time, sometimes 1 second at a time. You haven't quite achieved the dream yet, but you're trying to get it right because you sound crazy enough when you manage to talk about it, I know. And the last thing you need to do is look like a fool. Again. I'm not here to give you a motivational speech. I'm here to tell you what I've had to tell myself a million times. Sometimes life feels like we're working so hard, yet we're working for nothing. We're crying ourselves to sleep and hoping it's all worth it. And the sad reality is that this goes for almost every one of us in this world. Everyone out here is just trying to feel like their lives are not a waste of time. And now the time has come again to discuss what you achieved last year or didn't achieve and to set your New Year's resolutions. Then we're going to play that game where you set some goals, then the New Year sentiment and motivation wears off, life gets in the way, and then it's March, and then it's June, and then it's September, and then we say, oh, well, I guess I'll try again next year, right? But what if this time we play a different game? What if this time we start with the heavy and hard truth that tomorrow isn't promised, you know? See, in September of 2021, my doctor told me we couldn't wait 2 to 3 days for test results. I needed to get emergency care because I caught COVID and then it caused pneumonia and I was rapidly declining, so much so that he needed an urgent x-ray of my lungs and couldn't wait as little as 2 days to get the results. Now, you don't need a near-death experience. In fact, this wasn't my first near-death experience, but I sat in the room at that urgent care, hooked up to an IV because I hadn't eaten in days, and something in me just said, screw it. If this was how it was all going to end for me after everything I'd been through, well then in that case, I didn't have to say it out loud, but I did say, screw it. And that's the first thing you need to do too. You need a screw it moment, especially if what you're chasing right now is not what you would proudly be chasing if your race ends here. It may not feel like a grandiose moment and you may have no idea how to take your life back right now, but this is when you start thinking deeply and working on it. You know, we're all going to be caught in the middle of something when we run out of time. So the goal is not to achieve everything before the time runs out. No, the goal is to always be able to say you're proud of where you are and what you're heading towards, no matter when that time comes. So as you set your goals right now, I'm daring you to start by saying, screw it. All that doesn't really matter, just say, screw it. What matters? What do you feel God moving you to do? What do you want and why? If that diet will make you proud when you take your last breath, screw the weight loss goal. If that promotion will make you proud when you take your last breath, screw the career goal. Stop and truly evaluate without being forced to. You may not find all the answers in an instant, but that quest to find yourself and what truly matters to you will over time be so much more rewarding than the cycle of New Year's goals you're not going to achieve. You need to roll the dice in your favor. And luckily for you, I know just how you can do that. As you set your goals now, don't make it about what time of the year or week it is. Focus on how you can roll the dice in your favor. Maybe with the DICE approach. Yes, I came up with this and I've been waiting to use it for a long time. Anywho, D stands for desire. You already know you need to want it before you can go for it, obviously. But it's not just about wanting it. See, a lot of times when you haven't achieved something, someone might say, you just don't want it badly enough. But that's not always the case. It's also about why you want it. If your desire is based on something temporary, then your drive will be temporary. And you'll always find yourself looking for inspiration again in order to keep taking action. For example, emotions. If you find yourself only wanting something when you feel a certain way, you're not going to go for it. It may be the weight loss that you only want when you feel frustrated, or you were picked on for how you look. Or the goal of wanting to start a business, but you only want that after you hear this motivational speech and you're feeling invincible. It's the things that you want badly, the things that you want no matter what you're feeling or what time it is or who is around. Those are the things that you're going to go for, rain or shine. So start by identifying what actually matters to you without being triggered to want it. Those are your true desires. Next, I stands for identity. You have to be to become. It's that classic analogy of walking in someone's shoes. When you achieve your goals, you'll be walking in the shoes of your future self who has taken action to achieve those goals. But before you can walk in any pair of shoes, what needs to happen? You need to put the shoes on. You have to be the person wearing the shoes before you can become the person walking in those shoes. You must be before you become. Now, this means that unless you actually need to achieve a goal in order to access a certain opportunity, you can no longer afford to say, when I achieve XYZ, then I'll have ABC opportunity. A good example is if you're starting a new business and you have a goal to make, let's say, $100,000. You think about what life will be like when you accomplish your financial goals, and you might say, I'll finally be able to hire people to work for me. Makes sense, right? Because you'll be able to afford to pay them. Or you might say, I'll finally let go of these clients, which also makes sense because you won't need the income that they bring. But what you have to ask yourself is there really no way that I can live that reality right now? You can't afford to hire employees, but the person you're hoping to become is someone who delegates. So how can you be that person right now? How can you get help that maybe you don't have to pay for? How can you document your systems so that it's easier for someone to take over later? This way, you can identify as a business owner who delegates well, even before you've achieved your goal and can hire your own team. Similarly, you can't afford to let go of those clients, but the person you're hoping to become doesn't have those clients. So how can you prepare for that transition now? How ready are you to take the hit to your income whenever they are no longer your clients? When you identify as the person you will be after achieving your goals, it's easier for you to stay consistent and to live your life like achieving every goal you set is 100% likely. Now for some real talk. What's tricky here is that we're often waiting for accomplishments to give us permission to do things just because we're too scared and we don't value and respect ourselves enough to do those things right now. And the truth is, when this is the case, no matter how much you achieve, it will never be enough for you to really step into the reality that you want for yourself. The goal should not be the beginning, and achieving the goal will not give you permission. You have to value yourself enough to embrace the courage you need to get things done and to be who you want to become. This is also how you make sure that what's holding you back isn't so much what you haven't yet achieved as it is maybe a limiting belief that you need to let go of. Now, before we move on to the final two, this is where I ask you to like and subscribe, which please do. But really what I want you to do is to think of a friend who's been really down about where they are in life right now and could really use some encouragement and some tips for how to keep going and how to make things better. Share this video or your favorite part of this video with them and let them know that they matter. In third place, we have C, which stands for choice. Very commonly, we're mistaking a desire for a decision. Then we'll inevitably find ourselves saying, oh yeah, I always wanted to do that, but I never got around to it. Sound familiar? Always make a decision to go for what you desire. Whether your desire is to try a recipe you found on social media or to start a new business, always make a decision. Choose what you want to go for, when you want to do it, and how you want to do it. This is how you'll be able to get specific and you really create a path for yourself. So you're scrolling on social and you find this easy, cheesy garlic bread recipe that's made with sweet Hawaiian rolls. And I know that you want to try it. So get your ass back here before you go pressing save for later. We're not doing that in 2024. Are you going to try it? When are you going to do it? Make a choice. This weekend? Awesome. Do you have the ingredients? Do you want to invite someone to do it with you? What do you need to do before you can make the recipe? Wash your dishes. And when will you do those things? Now it's exhausting. It was so much easier to just watch the recipe video and say ooh and ah and save for later. But you actually get to go from being happy just wanting something to being happy with actually having it. That can feel like so much work, I know, but if it matters to you, you'll do it. And you'll start by making a choice so that you can make a plan. You're always going to desire something, then you'll need to decide on it, and then you'll actually do what's needed so that you can delight in what you once desired. See what I did there? Desire, decide, do, delight. I'm so creative, I know. And you deserve that. You deserve to not just desire something, but to actually delight in having it. Believe that, okay? Good. And lastly, we have E for environment. You can do everything possible to succeed, but the odds will never be in your favor if you don't set up your environment to work for you. What does this mean? Well, if you want to eat more vegetables, then the veggies can't always be at the back of your fridge. Or if you want to start a hobby, then you must have a set space to work, and your tools can't stay stashed away in the basement. See, your mind and body are wired to preserve energy. That's how you survive. You're doing enough work as it is trying to change what's already normal and easy for your mind, so you don't want to give it any leeway to steer you off track of what you want. The easiest way to do that is to ensure your environment makes it very simple and quick for you to get in position to take action. For example, I wanted to create more video content and start my YouTube channel that you need to subscribe to. Thank you. So my goal was to set up my space in a way that makes it very easy to press record. That's why I decided to leave my recording lights up, and I even try to be more dressed up in my home office so that whenever a video idea hits my brain, all I need to do is press record. I don't need to bring out the lights and arrange the background first. I can simply press record. For you, it may be similar, or it may be putting out your running shoes so that all you need to do is get up, put them on, and go outside. Make the process as easy as you can make it. And as you consider your space, also consider your circle. You'll struggle more if the people around you are either not encouraging you or are even trying to pull you away from your goals. It could be an online forum or a Facebook group, but find people who care about what you care about so that you feel surrounded by their support. This will really go a long way. And let me just say now that this is not about the haters alone, because it's not. You may be surrounded by people who love and care about you, but they can't adequately support you, either because they're not experienced in what you're aiming for and they don't share the same goal, or they love you so much that they're just so afraid for you to fail. They've most likely experienced or witnessed the failure that can come from venturing into something new or different, and because of how much they care about you, they would rather steer you in a different direction, again, not out of hatred, but simply out of fear. It's up to you to discern who you can and can't carry along on your journeys towards each specific goal, and to set up your environment, your space, and your circle in a way that enables you to be successful. So, these are the 4 moving parts: desire, identity, choice, and environment that help me and can help you too to roll the dice in favor of your success. Again, I'm not telling you this as some goal-setting expert who wants to give you a motivational speech. I've been told that I have the gift of going for whatever I set my mind on, and that I make it look easy and I'm full of courage, but it's not easy. And honestly, I don't think going for what you set your mind on should be a gift. I believe everyone with a good heart deserves to see their dreams come true. I believe you deserve to be inspired by the life you're living every day that you wake up. And I'm just a regular person trying to create my dream life too. So here's to figuring it out and to choosing our hard, because all of it is hard. Let's stop using sentiments and temporary emotions to set goals when we want our successes to be permanent. Listen, come here. You are strong, even if you didn't ask to be. And you are bigger than whatever is weighing you down right now. You can do this. I know you're aching every day for something different, and that is so difficult to defy the odds, because the more you get beat down, the harder it is to get back up. The pain you've gone through and what you may still be going through are not okay. And I wish too that we could snap our fingers and make all the struggles go away. But even though we can't do that, we can make it all worth something. We can make sure we write our stories ourselves and not let the circumstances write them for us. We can do everything to make sure we're proud when it all comes to an end. And your power starts when you decide what matters. So, what matters? Comment below. And as I asked before, if you know a friend who could really use some encouragement and some tips to keep moving forward, please send this to them. And now, as my friends, which now you're one of my friends, I'm always on my soapbox, so I'll catch you in the next one, love. Till then, keep your head up. You're valuable.